Hey everybody, Logan Sluggett with Dogman Levi here. We just got these brand new HTR platform rifles from HS Precision. These are chambered in 6.5 PRC. This is my dad's rifle right now. We're gonna run and throw some scopes on them. We're using the Alpha scope rings from Sig Sauer. The brand new Tango DMR scope. It's a 5-30 by 56 millimeter rifle scope. And we're gonna throw these on these guns. They should be shooters. The guns we've had before from them are absolute tack drivers, so we're just gonna go through how we do it. First things first, we always we're gonna get our guns locked down. We wanna check the level on this here. So you want this level to be as centered as you possibly can. Then we'll put on our barrel level, so that we know we're always level. Get them lined up exactly. This way we can keep the scope and the barrel completely level to each other, always. So now that both of these levels are as centered as we can get them. Oh, that one. And I'm pretty peculiar about this. So those levels are completely as close as we can get them to each other, pretty much. I tighten this one down pretty tight. And now we're ready to throw our rings on. Like I said, we're using the Alpha 1 rings. These are rings for a 34 millimeter main tube. The bases on these, you tighten down to 65. I think it's inch pounds. Yeah, 65 inch pounds for the bases, and 25 inch pounds for these top screws. Trying to think where we want them. Where you're gonna want them.
Would they be pretty much the same as our?
These are a long action, so it's a little different.
Or if I should just go look at my other gun real quick and kind of
You can bring it in here if you want. So once we got these rings loose on here on this Picatinny rail, we have our distance set where we want to put our scope. With these rings, how they're loose like this, you want to slide these rings all the way forward before you tighten them down to your 65 inch pounds. And that just helps because when the rifle kicks, the rifle generally wants to go backwards and it's staying in motion. Your scope wants to stay where it is. So when this rifle's going back, your scope wants to stay where it is, so it's going to push up against these rings if there's ever anything wrong. This just kind of takes a little bit of the play out of them. Like, so if you were to put it in the middle, there could be slop. If the rifle, I mean, that's not what you want, but it could definitely always happen. But so I always slide my rings to the very front of these Picatinny rails in the slot that I have in mine. So I want to make sure this bubble maintains level during the whole process when we're mounting our scope. It's really not that important right now, but once we start mounting the scope, like I said, these go to 65 inch pounds, or inch pounds. Now we start low, like 25, and go back and forth. And move it up. No, 40, 45, same thing. Move it up again, about 50 maybe. Just like to go up in increments. I don't like to slam them down right at 65 right away. I think this helps get a more even slot on them. Go up to 60. 65. Double check them, make sure they're good. Triple check them. Now those should be sitting level, I think. Like I said, the level right now doesn't, I guess, matter until we start putting the scope on there to level the scope to this. Because this is our true level now after we put the level on our base. So if we were to put this back on here, back on our base, should be exactly level with that. We're good. We're sitting all right. So now we're moving on to our scope. Tango DMR 5 to 30 by 56. These are brand new. Sig Sauer just dropped them. Just taking it out of the box right now for the first time. So these things look awesome. Now we put it on here. Get the scope level and set our eye relief. Set our eye relief and then make sure we check the level on it, make sure everything's good, make sure that the scope is level to the gun. And we should be in the money. Tighten these down to 25 inch-pounds once we get all that set, and then should be good to go. Like I said, this is my dad's gun, but he's behind the camera right now, so we'll get his eye relief set and then come back to leveling the scope and tightening it all down. And we should be ready to zero and shoot and reset the zero on the scope. And it's ready to drive tacks. Like I just cinch these down and hand tighten them first a little bit. I want to make sure, I try to keep the gaps on these the exact same on each side so I know that the scope, the tension on the scope is the same. That's the goal anyways. Keep my gaps the same. So this scope is nowhere near level right now, obviously. But I have it just tightened down enough where I can loosen these corners a little bit. Rotate the scope and slide it how I want. Get it level. Move it back for, like I said, this is my dad's gun, his eye relief. And then from there we level the scope completely. We're done. So that bubble should be completely level with this bubble. Both these bubbles are very centered. Once those bubbles are matched up, we know that the gun is level and our scope is level. Tighten these down in a little bit of an X pattern, and then we'll run the eye relief. And then we'll tighten it down 25 inch-pounds on each side, or on all these screws. We should be ready to roll. So now I'm gonna have you, I will swap camera. We'll take your gun out of here.
Take it out.
Yep. Pull it out of the vise. Leave that level on there, don't touch that level. Then check your eye relief how you want it. What do you think?
Perfect.
It's perfect, don't need to move, come back towards you or nothing?
No.
You like it how it is?
Nope, I can just lay my cheek in there and I'm on it.
Alright. Throw it back in the vise.
Do one more little. Bob Lee Swagger.
You throw it in there and it feels good?
Yeah.
Don't need moved at all?
Nope.
Okay.
And how we did it, Logan measured What we did is we just measured from my old gun, from my original HS, and we just measured up the difference in the Picatinny rail, because this one's a little bit longer, but we got everything close to my other one, and mashed it up, and it's perfect. So
Now I can tighten them down and should be ready to go, hopefully. Looks pretty level.
Yep.
Level there, level there. I think I'll leave that level on there, and now it's time to tighten it down. Remove this off the old wheeler. Go right into, I think it's this one. Like I said, these are tightened down to 25 inch-pounds, so gotta come back from 65. And I don't tighten them right to 25. I do a alternating pattern, the cross pattern, so tighten the back right and the top left. And I'll start at like 10 pounds, work my way up. Do each screw. It's kind of monotonous, but I just think that you get the best results that way. I'm not a gunsmith, but that's what I believe in, so. These aren't even close to 10 inch-pounds yet, so I'm just doing a cross pattern, tighten them kind of more than finger tight, and we'll roll into the 10 inch-pounds.
And you said where do you want a max mount torque at?
25 inch-pounds is what they're rated for. So that's 10 inch-pounds that we're running right now.
One thing is, the reason why we do this, I've always been told, it's real crucial to have the exact same pressure on your rings, correct?
Yep. Yeah, so that you're not putting any uneven pressures on the
Right.
scope. Especially if you're going to do any long range shooting, this stuff's real important. These scopes, they build them with such tight tolerances and everything's all exactly measured out. So it's really important to do all this stuff right, correct way. Like I said, I'm trying to keep these gaps pretty similar on both sides, so there's not uneven pressures. And some people don't care about that stuff, but I think it's pretty important when you're mounting these scopes of these guns. And move on up 20. Then on to 25. We'll go back through, double check them all. Should all pop just like this. That means they're at 25 inch-pounds. See, that one turned a little bit. Sometimes I triple check them just to make sure they're there. That one turned a little bit again. Should all just pop just like that. Should be no slack in them. onto these ones, double check them again, triple check. Do that. That one moved again. 25. It's kind of monotonous, but the little things like this that I think a lot of people don't do. You just triple, double check all these. Make sure they're all right at 25. Just like we did with our bolts that went to our bases.
There
Now we go. Scope's mounted. Time to go to the range and zero this gun. I do a little bit of a bore sighting with it just to help us get a little closer when we shoot them. But that's how we mount our scopes. Watching Dog with Levi. Lights out, everybody.